Power begins from within. If you're aware of who you are, if you're aware of what you're good at, what you're not good at, if you're able to see how emotions kind of govern your life, if you can learn what your weaknesses are and how to control them, you can't ever get complete control, but awareness is almost enough. Slowly through this process of knowing who you are and understanding other people and how they operate so you don't make stupid mistakes in life, you can increase that little tiny margin more and more and more, and you will be a person of power. Law number 1 in the 48 Laws of Power is called never outshine the master. And almost every single person in the world has violated that law, myself included. Basically how it works, you're so eager to impress your boss or whomever in your new job that you try so hard that you make him or her feel insecure. Like maybe you're younger and better than they are. And because of that, you're fired, or something bad happens to you and you never know why.
Do you think meditation is allowing you to make more interesting connections because of the quiet?
Yes, I mean, I'm not going to go too deeply into this. It's a theory of creativity that's not my own, but that I use a lot in Mastery. And basically the idea is that ideas are generated in the unconscious. They're not generated consciously. Your conscious mind is very limited what you can hold in your memory.
Right.
But unconsciously, in your subconscious, when you're asleep, when you're dreaming, the mind is filled with thousands upon thousands of ideas and things that are there, that are lingering there. And connections are being made all of the time. And occasionally those connections float up to your conscious mind and you have a brilliant idea about how to do something. 1 out of 10 people are like great manipulators. And there just takes one person and they can ruin your life. We were born with this natural talent. Every single person is born with this talent for getting inside the minds of other people. It's something that you're not even aware of.
How do they need to conceive of that? To what end are they using that skill to make their own dreams come true?
First thing is, you're not aware of this power that you have. You're walking around in life, I'm not critical because I'm the same, sort of sleepwalking. You're inside hearing your own thoughts day in, day out, like a continually, circling loop in your head. And you're not aware of the fact that if you stop that and you look at other people, a world opens up to you. So what's the first component of that world? Nonverbal communication. 95% of what really matters in communication between people is not through words. Words are used to deceive you, to disguise what people are really thinking.
What are just a step or two that they can take down that path starting today?
The first thing to understand is the most important, and that it is a skill. If you want to play the piano, you can't just sit down and suddenly play. You've got to practice it. You've got to practice it every day. And if you practice an hour a day, you're going to get better at it. Why are children able to learn and an adult can't? The reason is children don't think that they're superior. They don't think that they already understand the world. They're this small. They're weak. They're defenseless. They have to learn or they're going to die. They have to learn how to speak the language. They have to learn what's going on with their parents, or they're literally going to die.
Do you have tricks that you use for ensuring that genius does not become a young man's game, that your books truly get better and better over time?
Basically, every time I begin a book, I'm deathly afraid of failing. I feel like, it's not going to sell as well as the last book. I'm losing it. I got to go back to square one. Each project, each thing that you do in life, you have to kind of create that feeling in the gut like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off. I don't know if I can go 12 rounds with Floyd Mayweather this time. I don't know it. The secret really to success in life, I have to say, is retaining, I talk about this in Mastery, is retaining your childlike qualities. If you're completely a child, that's not going to work. Negative capability is rule number 1 for being a creative person. And if you don't follow anything else in Mastery, that would be enough. The ability to keep 2 ideas that contradict each other in your mind without feeling uncomfortable, without having to come to a conclusion. You can think about something without rushing to judgment and conclusion. You can be in the moment. You can say, well, it could be this, it could be that, it could be that. And you don't have to decide whether it's A, B, or C. You're open to adopting 3 or 4 different viewpoints.
If you love music, don't quit your job and play guitar. Like, you're gonna have a hard time feeding your family. But you have advice for them. What is that advice?
Yeah, but people say, live your passion. So these are cliches, and nobody changes their life based on a cliche. You've got to do hard work, and to do hard work, you have to have a roadmap. Somebody has to show you step to get there. Working for yourself, starting your own company, doing what you love should be everybody's goal. The process begins by first knowing what you really love. And believe me, I do a lot of consulting. A lot of people have no self-awareness. They don't even really know what it is that they were meant to do in life. They loved music when they were a kid, but then they got into law or whatever because of their parents, and then they don't know who they are anymore. Well, do I really like music? You got to go through that process first of figuring out what it is that really connects to you in a deep, visceral way, what you loved when you were a kid, what still excites you. Once you go through that and you understand it and you've got some clarity about it, okay, how do I incorporate that in my life? So if you're 23 years old, it's a little easier. I love music, but I'm not a musician because I've not been practicing it. I just love music. But I have a real good sense of business. I've been studying business and I have an MBA, etc. Okay, I've got to now find a way to craft a career that combines my knowledge of business and my love of music. And if I follow that and I do it smart and I plan it out, eventually what starts out with more business than music will end up becoming more creative as I get better and better at it.
How do you prepare somebody to survive that initial stage of boredom and pain?
Well, pain is great. You've got to embrace pain. Pain is pleasure. You've got to make the connection between the physical and the mental. Well, you know that when you're exercising, when you're running or you're working out or whatever, it hurts, but it leads to something pleasurable. You have to be able to translate that to mental things. And if you make that switch in your mind, it is mind-blowing what can happen to you. Who are the most messed up people in the world? Spoiled kids. Kids who are given everything, who have a rich father or mother and they don't have to work or try. They are the most messed up people you'll ever meet. Each person, I make this point in Mastery, is born unique. And it's kind of one of those cliches. Yeah. But there's science to it. The science is your DNA will never be repeated. The way your brain is wired will never be repeated. Your experiences in life, you're one of a kind. And it's an amazing thought if you think about it. Of all of the billions of humans that have lived and will ever live, there will never be anybody who is wired like you are wired. And the problem in life is as you get older, you can become more and more like other people. You spend a lot of your time thinking about what other people like, and you're not aware of what you like. You go into careers because you listen to other people. If you look at all of the brilliant people who've succeeded in life, if you look at a Steve Jobs, you look at an Elon Musk, etc., there's nobody else out there like them. You're never going to be able to pinpoint one other person like them. They are completely unique, and those are the people that end up having power in the world. So if you're going to be able to create that website, that blog, that whatever it is, that startup that is different, that has its own niche and reflects you, something good will happen from it.
Control people's perceptions of reality and you control them.
It's a great military strategy. Comes from the great Colonel Boyd, who invented what's known as the OODA loop. And he came up with the OODA loop, which means orientation, observation, decision, action. You have to observe what is happening, orient yourself into the context of it, decide what you need to do, and act. We want to believe that there are shortcuts to success. We want to believe we can take a drug or we can do something that'll make it quick and easy. But the truth is, it takes grit. It takes persistence. So it's hard to understand what could happen to you in 10 years in a visceral gut way of what it means to have failed in life. And to me, failure in life is not having money. It's not realizing your potential. You're 60 years old and you said, I could have been this, and I never did it. That's like the worst thought I think anybody can have. And you don't think about it in the moment because your life is okay, but you've got to wake up and understand that there's an urgency here. And that if you're not practicing something now, if you're not aware, if you don't have a path towards something better, you're rotting on the vine, and that day of reckoning will come at some point, and it will be painful. You're not going to feel it suddenly, it'll be slow, but it'll come and it won't be good. Just being aware that you now have a plan is enough to lift you out of that depression. Okay, I'm working at Burger King, but I know I'm going to get to this community college and get a degree here after I save enough money. Having a goal is like, will change you completely from being depressed or not taking care of yourself to being energized and moving in the right direction.
When I look at people, I always ask the question, I say, man, tell me what Nike stands for. They said, oh, Inc., that's easy, just do it. I said, tell me what Adidas stands for. Oh, Inc., that's easy, man, impossible is nothing. I said, now tell me what you stand for. When people look at you, do they think excuses? When people look at you, do they think victory? When people look at you, do they think that's a person that's going to give me everything they got, not on some days, but on every day, and it's not going to be predicated upon if I feel like it, because I think we all know if we only worked on the days when we felt like it, none of us would get much accomplished. I'm talking about the real level of commitment, not the commitment that falls in line if everything goes right. I'm speaking of the commitment that says, I am going to stay true to what I said I would do long after the mood that I've set it in has left.
See, most people, ladies and gentlemen, are stoppable. Most people, all you have to do is tell them no. All you have to do is make it inconvenient for them. All you have to do is make it difficult for them, and they'll stop. See, when you go to get your goal, don't think that all you have to do is think positive and everything's going to work out okie dokie for you. When you go to get your goal, you are sending a telegram to Murphy's Law to visit you personally.
You thought you was just going to have a dream and a goal, and you were just going to wake up and just walk into the sunset. You're like, dream, boom. It don't work like that. You have a dream, and then life pumps you. Life pumps you and say, do you really want this? You're going to lose friends. Do you really want this? Do you really want this? Cousins going to abandon you. People that you used to be like this with going to think you bougie, don't want to deal with you. It's a part of it, but I paid too much. If I was going to quit, I would have quit in the abandoned building when I wanted to commit suicide and take my life. I should have quit when I heard my voice say, your mama don't want you, your daddy don't want you, take your life. I got through that, so why I'm going to quit over an F on a grade? Come on. And so I'm telling y'all, you have come too far to quit now. You have invested too much to quit now. You have lost too much to quit now. Don't cry about it. Don't whine about it. Get a reward for your pain. And so by being committed to everything that I started, I finished it. It built a certain type of spirit. It built a certain type of mentality. It built a certain type of individual. And so now I couldn't quit even if I wanted to. I couldn't stop even if I wanted to. I had too much sweat equity in my life and everything that I was doing.
You're too close to quit now. You gotta take another lap. You gotta take another lap, because you never know. This might be the one. You can't stop because you're tired. You can't stop because you got your feelings hurt. You gotta take another lap. Keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. You're gonna make it. You're gonna do it. You got an unstoppable fire. Come on, take another lap. Don't you stop. Don't stop walking.
"What is the value of his life?" Instead of answering, the father told his son to take this rock and go sell it at a market. If anybody asks the price, raise 2 fingers and don't say anything. The boy then went to the market, and a woman asked, "How much is this rock? I want to put it in my garden." The boy didn't say anything and raised up 2 fingers. And the woman said, $2, I'll take it. And the boy went home.
Sometimes we have to ask ourselves, what's using my life? One of the things that we know about life is that it is always changing. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go real well, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're happy, and sometimes you're sad. Now that's that thing called life. And when we begin to understand and know that, accepting that reality that we will never ever have things just on an even keel all the time, that you're going to have some ups and you're going to have some downs, but during those down moments, that's where the growth takes place. That's where the work is. Anybody can feel good when they have their health, their bills are paid, they have happy relationships. See, but the real challenge of growth, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, comes when you get knocked down. How you handle it, that's where the growth takes place. What has brought you to this point? What did you learn from it? Are you learning anything, or are you doing it over and over and over again? Are you going through it, or are you growing through it? Are you bigger and better because of it? things are going to happen to you. And the most important thing to do is to harness your will and let it go. I'm in control here. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm coming back.
Develop a strong mind and you will live a strong life. If you only ever listen to one thing I say, listen to this. Develop a strong mind and you will live a strong life. A strong mind is built from feeding it with positive thoughts and learning new things every day. Not every now and then. Not for a little while. Every single day. A strong mind is built with daily gratitude. When you are grateful for everything you do have, you have no room for negativity, no room for doubt or anxiety. A strong mind is built with goals. Goals that give you a reason to get up out of bed and attack the day. A strong mind is built from knowing you are responsible for your life, your results, your success and your failures. A strong mind is built with learning new things every day on topics that expand your mind and develop your skills. The mind is like a muscle. It gets stronger when you embrace challenges, when you push it to its limits, when you learn what works and apply that to your life. A strong mind is one that surrounds itself with the right people. A strong mind does not let opinions alter its course in life. It follows its own path no matter what. A strong mind is one that visualizes success and is prepared to work to make that picture come to life. A strong mind does not let fear get in the way of success. Strong mind, strong life.
Zig Ziglar once said, if you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. Live your life with that determination to learn every single day, and no one will stop you.
One thing a motivational speaker is supposed to never tell you, or that you heard that a motivational speaker is never to tell you, is that you can't. You can't. You're not supposed to tell people they can't. That's no way to encourage anybody. Tell them they can't do something. But I will tell you tonight that the most powerful motivational speeches that I have ever heard came from people who told me I couldn't do something. You know why? Because when they told me I couldn't do it, I was bound and determined to show them that I could. Tell me I can't do it. I will prove you wrong. I will show you that you're mistaken. You have chosen the wrong one to tell that they can't do something. Because I believe, and this is real important, I can't will thwart you, will stop you, will slow you down, will turn you around and cause you to move backwards if you let it. But if you have the proper mindset, I can't will do nothing but make you that more determined to get to your goal.
People don't want to exude that much passion in which it becomes obsession because they're fearful of their obsessions. Well, if I'm obsessed about this topic, it's going to take away from my family, from my time. It's going to introduce a lot of, fear or unknowns to me. So they back off. But I tell people all the time, there is a difference between passion and obsession. And high performers have obsession about the topic, right? They are obsessed about the topic in which they're trying to learn, master, grow into. And so that obsession is real. And I tell people the difference, here's how you know the difference between the two. When you're passionate, everybody cheers you on. They're stoked for you. Oh, you found your passion? Awesome. Follow your passion. Live with passion. Be passionate. When you're obsessed, they're like, why you gotta be so crazy? Why can't you be satisfied? Why do you always gotta get things so perfect? Why do you spend so much time here? When you're obsessed, people think you're nuts. So it's different. And it's like, I always tell people, if no one thinks you're crazy, you're not yet operating to the outer limits of your potential. You're not there yet.
If you want to be great, not good, not also grand, not second, not third. If you want to be great, the very best at what you do, obsession is a necessity. You must be. Ain't no two ways about it. Obsession. Nobody got to be the best at anything. I don't care if you flip pancakes, you sweep porches, you wash dishes, you bust tables. If you're the very best at it, you are obsessed about it. And obsessed about it means you slept and you dreamed and you ate that. I will be the very best at what I do. I am determined to be the very best at what I am. And nobody can tell me that I can't do it because I am obsessed.
Somebody in your life should say, man, you really care about this in like a crazy way. And when you get there, you know you found your thing. And not everybody finds that.
Question the impossible. The greatest achievements of mankind were made by people who questioned impossible. The Wright brothers. Oh, you can't fly, there's no way. If we're supposed to fly, we'd be born with wings. Christopher Columbus. The world is flat, Chris, the world is flat. And at that time, it was accepted by everyone to be true. Question what people call impossible. 4 minute mile was the limit. No way possible. Okay, what tell you? No way possible. You're gonna run a mile in under 4 minutes. It just can't be done. Roger Bannister said, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. And he went out there and he proceeded to do just that. Not me, not I. You have chosen the wrong one to tell something like that to. I will show you what I can do. I will show you, I will turn your I can't, I will never, I won't, it's impossible. I will turn it around and I will show you that I can do anything. Anything. That is my message to you. Let the I can't fuel your fire.
One of the things you got to understand, my friend, is that you're supposed to fail. You're supposed to fail because failure is the stepping stone to success. It's not just cliche. Failure is an experience that lends to wisdom that ultimately makes you a stronger version of yourself.
Like, until I make my dreams become a reality, I'm not quitting. I don't care how much money I have to invest. I'm going to continue to do this until I become successful. All right. I've got a rule called the show up rule. All right. Somebody said you can pretend that you care, but you can't pretend that you're there. The only way you can be there is to show up. And what I'm asking you to do for me, you'll never be a failure if you show up every single day. Every single day when I come, I show up and I let failure know failure is not an option. So what? It takes 12 years to get it forward. Failure is not an option. So what? I put myself in a PhD program when I know that to be a great person in a PhD program, you have to read well, you have to write well, which are my two greatest weaknesses. But failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. You can't even let it sink into your brain, not even a second. You have to know that this thing is going to work. Come hell or high water, whatever it is that I set out to do, it may not happen in 6 months, it may not happen in a year, it may not happen in 2 years, but at some point, my dream is going to become a reality.
You know, I get asked a lot, what is the secret of achieving goals? How do you really quantitate it? How do you put it down so every day you know if you're going in that direction of success or maybe you're altered? And people are like, man, is it your genetics? Is it your potential? Is it, when it comes down to it, success has nothing to do with potential. It's all about the perseverance of somebody.
I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 things that do not work. Right? And who wrote that? Yeah. Thomas said, come on. These are the things that help me change my thought patterns. They help me to change my mindset. Listen to me. It's 10,000 things that didn't work. And all I have to do is the next one. And once I do the next one, bam, I'm going to be successful. I'm telling you, every time I stand up here and do what I'm doing, all I can remember was sleeping in abandoned buildings. That's all I could think about. But I kept trying, and I kept trying, and I kept trying. And I tell people, I am not the rabbit, I'm the turtle. But I kept going, I was consistent, and I'm standing here today.